when we know you're excited to see us again.
Yeah, if you're not following us on TikTok, you really missed a show earlier today. So follow valleyvet.com.
We're going to wait a little bit while people hop on.
Okay.
If you join us, let us say hi. Let us know where you're watching from.
Hi, Danny. I was just getting ready to say, not everybody all at once.
They normally all of them just start coming in. So
Kendra and Lori are with us. There they go.
I know better. I said
Get you this far away. You can't see it.
Oregon and Maryland.
Washington, too.
Lori from South Central Kansas.
New York. You guys got coast to coast covered.
Nice.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. We have a special guest with us today. Brendan's with us with EasyCare, and he's going to talk about the Easy Boot or EasyCare's Remedy boots and how to make something easier.
Be sure you put any questions that you have in those comments. We are giving away a pretty sweet prize at the end of this segment. One lucky viewer is going to get their choice of either an Easy Boot Remedy or an Easy Boot Ultimate and a jar of Vetericin Hoof Soak. So get those comments. Let us know where you're watching from. Just say hi, or any questions you have, obviously put those in the comments because Brendan is here to answer all of them for us. I'm going to mention the promo real quick before we get started. We have a promo going on right now. If you buy a boot and a Vetericin Hoof Soak, you're going to get 20% off. So take advantage of that
And
while
it's
it lasts.
your choice of boot.
Yes. So to kind of kick things off, we have another special guest with us today. Corey has used the Easy Boot Remedies, and she's here to talk about how awesome they are. So we're going to butt out and let her in.
Hi, guys. I thought I would jump in and just kind of share with you my experience of using these Remedy boots. They're awesome. You're going to love everything that Brendan and these girls have to tell you. I've personally used both. The taller one is my favorite. I'm sure, like many of you, that I don't have hot water in my barn, so anytime I've got a foot problem or need to ice something, it's a matter of getting the hot water from the house to the barn, getting the horses soaked in the boot in a bucket, and ultimately for them to have it mixed and dumped over in a matter of seconds. These boots are awesome. I think that because of the rubber, they're super pliable. They've got good traction on the bottom, and I think that the horses just don't mind standing in them as much as they would a tub or a bucket. So they work super well. They're both great. I have a large just because it's really easy. I think if we had to put it on a pony, it would work fine. It's a little bit probably excessive, but we probably are going to be soaking and icing our horses more than the ponies typically. And I also like the tall ones just because you kind of get the versatility. This folds down really easily, and let's see if I can do this while I hold it. It folds down easy, so if you don't need to go all the way up the leg, you can just fold it down like that. So that's my review, 10 out of 10. If you've got horses and you ever are going to need to soak or ice or anything like that, you've got to have one of these in your trailer. So, all right, that's all I have. I'll leave it to you guys.
Thanks, Corey. Always a pleasure. So,
All right.
well, would you like me to take it from here?
It's all yours.
All mine. All right, guys. Well, thank you again for having me back. Always a pleasure to work with you guys. Always a lot of fun. So we're going to talk about the new remedy and ultimate remedy from EasyCare. Just give you a little history and on the development side and things like that. So at one time, EasyCare did have a, I guess you would consider maybe a more traditional soaking boot that you've seen on the market out there. They were smaller. They came in a variety of sizes. But we made the decision at one point to discontinue that product. And in discussions, and we kind of stepped out of the category for a little while, but before we decided to get back in the category, we needed to find something that was more innovative. What could we do to change it up, to make it easier for users, to make it easier for the horses, and just a more beneficial product. So that's what we did. So we went to work on different designs and things like that. And so what came to mind was actually, I'm sure everybody's familiar with a dry shod style a muck boot that's out there, the durability. And so we had the idea that incorporate some of that technology, some of that material into a product that would be durable, long lasting, easy to use, easy to clean, things like that. So that's where kind of the idea came from, and we took it from there. So we'll talk about the two different styles. We'll talk about the sizing. We'll talk about the uses and things like that. So with that, we'll kind of start and go through. So as you can see, the construction of this and the style of this, once again, is like a dry shod boot. Same type of materials, same type of construction, overlaying of different layers of the product. Yes, exactly. A really nice sole on there as far as goes with traction. They are, as the boots are, very durable. You can easily clean these. They are 100% waterproof, both in and out. They dry easily, so once again, easy to clean. There's a four-way stretch involved in these, so they're easy to apply. So this one here is the Easy Boot Remedy, which is our shorter version. It will typically, allow you to soak or ice up halfway up the cannon bone for most horses. That'll work. With each of these boots, we're going to have two sizes. We're going to have a medium, and we're going to have a large on here that you can choose from. When selecting the size, to give you an idea, the medium will accommodate hooves up to 4 3/4 inches wide, or the large will go up to 6.5 inches on that. What's important to know about these boots when you're talking about sizing is that we don't want them to fit like a traditional Easy Boot would, where you want a nice, tight fit with no rotation and things like that. These are actually meant to fit loose, which is going to allow the solution or the ice to circulate around the leg or the hoof. So when you're thinking about which ones to choose, once again, Corey said she goes with the large just because it accommodates. And once again, that's a great choice. If you don't know which way to go, I mean, you can't go wrong with large. It should accommodate, anything that you need. However, with a large, it could be oversized for some smaller, fine boned horses, some yearlings, maybe some ponies, weanlings, things like that. And you're going to use more solution when you choose to go with a large, versus a medium if you have a smaller hoof that you're using. So, but if you have a multitude of sizes of horses in your barn and you want to be able to accommodate those, then you certainly could use the large, and that would allow you to service all those different horses. So anyway, so that's kind of the discussion about the fit on there and how those operate. The next style that we have is going to be our ultimate remedy. And like Corey said, the advantage to this product here is that you actually can ice and soak above the knee on most horses on that. So once again, you can, as she showed, you can fold them down for ease of application so that you don't have as much to work with when you're trying to put them on. And then once you have them on the horse, then it's very easy just to pull, the boot top up that's on there, and then you can fill it with ice and water solution if you want there. Another thing to note about both styles is that you can use them on front hooves and you can use them on hind feet. They'll accommodate both of those. One of the things to remember or to know is that each one of the ultimate remedies, the taller boot, is going to come with a strap for hooking. And what that will allow you to do is, once you get that on, if you're going to just soak or ice one leg at a time, you're going to hook the strap on the one side. You're going to go over to the shoulder and withers, and you're going to come back around to the other side of the boot, which is just basically like you see there. It's going to help to hold up the boot with the solution or the ice that you have in there when it's, so it's really easy there. It's adjustable to do that, so you can tighten it up to depending upon the height of your horse. The other thing that's great about that is, if you want to save time, these boots are all sold individually, so you don't have to buy a pair. So if you have time and you want to soak, multiple legs and you're not in a hurry, then you can buy one boot and you can just move it, where you need it to go. If you do want to, speed up the process a little bit and you want to purchase two boots for your horse, you can put them both on at the same time, and then that strap now goes from the outside of the one hoof over the withers and then onto the outside of the other boot. So basically, it's helping hold up both of them at the same time. Also important to know, this is not a boot that's designed to be put on and then just the horse left to his own device. It's meant to be tied, monitored. While this will help, a lot of horses like to pull their feet out of a bucket. This does help prevent some of that because it is smaller opening than a bucket. It's not as easy to remove the hoof, but and because of that, once again, we expect that the horse will be monitored when these are on. But certainly a lot easier. The cushion of the sole that's in these is obviously going to be softer than, say, the hard plastic of a bucket. So if you have a horse who's already dealing with an abscess, or is having sensitive issues, the sole of these are a nice rubber cushion that'll provide some protection there for them and some relief that way. So that's a benefit as well on those. Trying to think. So we've talked about what the boot is, how it's constructed, and some of the features of it. Now we talk about uses for this boot. I mean, it can be simply used just to treat, like I said, abscesses. You can use an Epsom salt soak in these. You can use any of the, popular products that are on the market that you would soak with to work on white line disease. They're great in aiding in recovery from a horse that's just worked, say a barrel horse that exerts a ton of energy very quickly. When you bring them back, you can simply ice their legs down, get those legs cooled down quicker, no different than any other athlete that might, soak their elbow in ice or have packed their elbow in ice just to keep inflammation from happening. So it's great for that. You can do a combination of ice and water solution in there. There's different uses and things that you can do for that. So, but that's the gist of the, I should also point out, that on these units here, we've also put a pull tab on the back side here that actually helps with, putting them on and taking them off. So it makes, ease of use better. We also have some tabs on the side there for the ultimate remedy, exactly that you see there, for using for pulling those on and pulling those off. So those are some things that we've added to that as well. So anyway, that's kind of the overall. Are there questions out there that I can help answer?
Yep. Lee had a question. She said, how would you introduce a boot to a horse who is leery?
Well, it's going to be like any other, item that you bring to a horse. You're going to have to do it with, some, very easily. You bring it up to them. Obviously, you're going to want them to be able to know what it is. It may be a process. Some horses are just leery of new things like that. So you're going to have to take your time and do that. And once again, that's why we definitely say we don't want you to leave the horse unattended with those products. What I would suggest possibly is, if you have a horse that definitely does have an, aversion to that, I would definitely start with the remedy as a shorter boot, that allows them just to get the feel of having something on there. And then you could progress in the future. If you need to, you can go with the ultimate and actually go up, towards the knee. But I would probably start out with a smaller boot if I was concerned that way.
Beth wants to know if these are hard to get on and off.
No, I mean, so if that's the idea behind them, they do have a good size opening on there, and it will depend upon the size of the hoof that you're using. For example, when we did our testing and some different things like that, we actually, an average quarter horse we used for the remedy, the shorter version, and we actually used a medium for that, and those were able to go on and off. If it tends to be a little tighter on there, yeah, you're going to get probably a little bit of suction and things like that, with the water and the solution, but very easy to deal with. They're very easy to get on and off.
Judy has a question. It's not about the remedy boots, but do you have a boot that can be left on in a pasture for a horse that has a crack that has a grow out?
Well, yeah, we do have several boots that you can use for turnout for sure. You could do one of our trail boots would be a good option for that. And if you need to add padding and things like that, we have some comfort pads that could be, put in there, but those can be left on for turnout for sure. It would protect those.
Linda had a question, and I believe the answer is yes. She asked, so you can fill the tall one with ice.
Certainly, yes, you can definitely fill with ice. Yep, definitely.
The top's kind of is it?
It's neoprene type. Yep, it's still waterproof, so it's not going to allow water in or out that way. Yep. So 100%, all the materials that are in those are going to be waterproof on those. So, and once again, it also is a nice material for when you do rinse them off, clean them. They're going to dry quickly, so you don't have to worry about things like mildew.
Would the tall one fit a draft horse?
It really comes down to the size of the hoof itself. And like I said, on the large one, you're going to go up to 6.5 inches. I mean, you can go, we say 6.5 inches, not because that's necessarily the 100% maximum, but once again, we want room for circulation of solution and ice. So if you go much larger than that, then you really limit, the ability for the hoof to get soaked well or to be iced well. So it just really depends on the size.
Dana was asking what keeps the boot fastened to the hoof, and she may have asked that before we got around to talking about the strap too.
Yeah. So with the shorter remedy version, there's not a closure or anything. It wasn't designed to basically latch on to the hoof or to the leg. It's meant to be similar to the style of, the leg is free to move in there if you need to a little bit, but once again, for the solution to circulate. And once again, on the ultimate, like we talked about, there is the strap that keeps it up. So it doesn't, if you do fill it with ice and water solution, it doesn't.
She says the ones that she uses now falls down. Mm-hmm. This is like a rubber, so yes. It's not going to collapse. It's going to be all the time.
No, the thickness of that, once again, is going to be very similar to a dry shod boot. So where you don't find your dry shod boots, very flexible at the top and falling over. Now, when you add the neoprene top to that, once again, there's more flexibility there. But at the same time, in our testing and everything we've had, and with our images that we have available on the website to kind of see, it'll show that with the ice and water solution in there, even with that, you don't have it tipping. We just use the strap as more of a way just to kind of support it, but it's certainly not meant to latch it and to really keep it there, from moving.
Yeah, and we do have some photos and video on our website on these product pages if you want to take a look at how they look on a horse filled with ice and water and clear up to the top too. So you can kind of see how that looks.
We have a couple people asking, is a medium sufficient for an average size horse?
Yeah, it certainly can. Once again, and we talk about the measurement in there, 4 3/4 wide hoof on that. We do say, if you at all are on the verge, towards the top of that, you may want to go up to the large, but you can see, like I said, in our testing, we used an average quarter horse and they were in the size medium and it worked just fine. It was easy on, easy off, with those. So, definitely don't be afraid to use the medium because it certainly will fit a lot of standard size horses.
Do you have to use the solution with it?
No, you can certainly, whatever your whatever your therapy or that what you're trying to accomplish. I mean, for example, we have people who will use these prior to a farrier coming out. If you live in a very dry area, very hard, your hooves are very, very hard, and you'd like to prep those for the farrier to come out to make it a little easier on them so they can get do a better job on the feet. Certainly you could just soak it in regular water just to kind of, soften them up a little bit.
Okay. Megan was asking how low the tall boot folds down.
Well, I mean, I have one folded here, so it's, I don't have a tape measure here, but basically if you compare, side by side, if we can do these, that's the extra that you're getting with it there. So
she had mentioned if she wanted to soak a mini's leg up to the knee, if that would work for that purpose.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the size there. It depends on the mini. How mini is mini, but so in that case there, I mean, you depending upon what it is and how small it is. I mean, this boot here, the medium in the Remedy might actually get up, almost there, but really it's, it's really dependent upon the size of the horse that way with the leg. But you could certainly do that when you fold it down. I think that would be reasonable.
Can it be used for horses with shoes?
Yeah, I mean, you certainly can. So once again, there's going to be if it's a situation where the horse has shoes on, of course you can certainly soak with that. It has the material on the bottom is still the same type of material that you would say like once again a dry shod boot in there. So shoes are always going to be a little more tough on a product like this, but it certainly can be used and it's gonna last and longevity shouldn't be a real issue with that. It depends on once again if you had a shoe that maybe the nail wasn't in as far as it could be or had worked its way out or something like that, you might but really the ones that we've had, it hasn't been an issue. So.
Lisa had asked, can you use magic mud under them? If so, will it damage them? And I don't know what magic mud is, but
I'm not very familiar with magic mud, but I can tell you in the solutions and products and things that we've used, we haven't come across a product that's going to, denigrate the material or cause it, to break down quicker or to damage it. So I can't say 100% because I really am not familiar with that product, but unless for some reason it's extremely caustic and you know that it goes after just the other thing to say about these products, there's no PVC in these products. They're all rubber, which is important to some people because PVC can be an issue as far as, chemicals and things like that. So, but this is rubber. So as long as that product isn't going to, for some reason adversely affect rubber, you should be just fine.
Linda had asked what was in the little jar. Linda, this is Vetericyn Hoof Soak, and it's used for abscesses, white line separation, thrush, things like that, used to treat, hoof issues. And right now we have a promo going on. If you buy one of the Easy Boot Remedies and a Vetericyn Hoof Soak, you're going to get 20% off.
Yep.
And ask how you get them off when they're full of water and ice.
Well, so what you'll have is, for example, if you're using the Ultimate Remedy, that's where you would probably have, if there's not really an issue, but if you were to be a little more difficult, it's going to be in the taller boot. So what you're going to do is you're still going to fold it back down, which would help. And then basically when you elevate the leg back like this, a lot of that solution is going to run out that way. So as long as you're in an area where you can, once again, just, dump it, that's going to take care of that. And then you're able to pull it off. In the Remedy, which is shorter, it's very possible that you could, just pick it up and almost depending on the size, it might just pick right up out of there. If you do have to pick them up, once again, you're still going to dump them. And then you've got the pull tab and you can just pull them off that way. So.
Carol had a question about storing them and if they should be completely dry before storing them. Can you talk a little bit about how the best way to dry them, wash them, and take care of them?
So with a lot of our products that we sell, definitely easy to clean. You could clean them simply with a Dawn dish soap or something mild like that, and so you can rinse them afterwards. Best thing to do is just to kind of hang them up or to kind of get them elevated. I mean, you could put them frankly over a fence post, or you could put them over just something to where the water can drain out. The material itself is designed, to have water kind of run off it. It's not meant to penetrate. So they do dry very quickly. It is important to have them completely dry. Any boot product, like anything that we manufacture that way, while washable, needs to be completely dry before you put them away. Because sometimes what happens is you might throw them into a trailer, you throw them into a tack box or something like that, where there's not a lot of air movement and things like that. And that's where you're going to have your issues if things are damp still. So just ensuring, but it doesn't take very long for these to dry. The material itself is really designed to dry quickly.
Dawn asked if they could be used with warm water to soak an abscess.
Certainly, yep. The temperature of water has no issue with these products. They're designed. You can certainly use warm, hot, cold. You can do all those things.
And then Karen had asked, how about chemical soaks? Okay to use?
Yeah, I mean, once again, the chemicals, and when I think about chemical soaks, maybe I'm not thinking exactly what she's thinking, but maybe, like for example, the products that the Clean Tracks and the different products like that that have chemical or that have product in them, medications and things like that. Yeah, certainly designed to use those products and use and whatever solution you're trying to do for the hoof, you can certainly do.
How do you know when they need replaced? Or how often should they be replaced?
So, we've had these out since last year. And I always keep referring back to the muck style or the dry shod boots. I'm still using the same pair that I've had 6 years ago. And I use them on the farm through cold and mud and all the other things that come along with them. And they've just held up. I've not had to replace. The only time I've ever had to replace a boot, maybe is if I stepped on a nail or caught it on something and really, tore a hole or did something like that. That's the only time I've ever had to replace them. So we anticipate having the same type of longevity with these products because they're made of the same products. Once again, if you tear a hole in it somehow, you catch it on something and you put a hole in it, you're going to have to replace it because it's not going to hold the water, at least not in that point. But as far as we don't have, so far, we've not heard of anybody who's had any issues, with the product as far as durability goes. We've not had any complaints that way. So once again, we brought them out late last year. So, we're still, we're still seeing things, but we haven't had any return for that reason. So I would venture to say you're going to get quite a bit of life out of these.
Is there any type of a warranty on these boots?
So every product that EasyCare manufactures comes with a 45-day, no questions asked guarantee. So if you buy the product, say you get the wrong size, you're just going to contact Valley Vet, work with their return process, and they're going to get you credit or get you a different size. So yeah, 45 days, no questions asked. It doesn't matter. We want you to take it home. We want you to try it on. We want you to use it. If you're not 100% satisfied in that first 45 days, then please get in contact with somebody and we'll get you taken care of.
Carla asked how to prevent issues in it forming a suction, making it hard to remove.
That's really going to come down to probably size. If you happen to have if you choose a size that's just a little too small for the application there, you probably, you could have that, because anytime you get the air limited down in there, you're going to have suction. So, but really we've not found suction to be a real issue, especially with the liquid and the ice. It doesn't tend to happen.
Carla wants to know if these are dishwasher safe.
I can honestly tell you, I can't answer that question. If Carla does go ahead and dishwash these, I would love to know. I can tell you, they're designed to be washed for sure and cleaned. In a dishwasher, we didn't think to try that one. So, yeah.
Better make a note.
I will send it up. I will send that idea up and see what happens.
She said she also has a horse that wears a 0 size shoe, so she wondered what size to order.
Okay, so that kind of goes to our size and fit. Believe it or not, aughts, 1s, 2s, 3s, even in different shoes, there's not a standard correlation between those sizes. You think there would be, but there's differences in different manufacturers. So really, best thing to do is just to measure across the hoof and get your measurement, because I honestly can't tell you a size aught versus a 1, 2, or 3 where they would fall on that. But
Megan she said she's in Arizona, and rubber can and will dry rot. How will this new material stand up to desert problems?
Well, I mean, dry rot is always can be an issue with certain products like that. Really, I think it really comes down to your storage on that. A lot of times where you see dry rot in rubber is when it's left out and exposed to the extreme heat and sun, things like that. So it's just when you store the product, put it away out of direct sunlight, to where in the high temperatures, putting it in a cabinet or in a a tack box or, something like that is going to help. I mean, obviously, if you're putting it in a trailer and the trailer's heating up, all summer sitting out there in the sun, there's everything, the sun does has an effect on things, but I don't think you'll see an issue very quickly on that for sure,
Jody had a question. How long would you recommend for an average soak with the Vetericyn?
That's honestly going to be probably a veterinary type question. It's really the instructions on there would probably tell you how, and I have not viewed the instructions on the Vetericyn, so I don't know. I don't know how long.
Kendra, your secret is safe with us. She said, don't tell her husband. Right. Is that the end of the questions?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Brenda, did you have anything else to add before we draw a winner?
No, I think that covers everything. Obviously, if there's ever any questions, they can always reach out to EasyCare. We have product specialists that are always happy to talk to people, and get them lined out with the proper boots and the proper sizing and things like that. So certainly give us a call if you have any other additional questions. But thank you for having me, and I can't wait to hear who wins.
All right. All right. One lucky winner is going to get their choice of the Easy Boot Remedy Ultimate or the regular, and a bar of the Vetericyn Hoof Soak.
All right. Oops. And the winner for today is Lee Neff.
Woohoo! Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And don't forget our promo right now one more time. If you purchase an Easy Boot Remedy and a jar of the Hoof Soak, you're going to get 20% off.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, Brendan. We really appreciate you coming on here.
Thanks, guys. Always a
Winners.
pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Before we hop off of here, we want to remind everybody that we have our Spray Master Spectacular giveaway going on. It goes on until June 24th, so get signed up now so you don't forget.
Also, join us again next Wednesday. We're going to be live again, and we will see you all then.
See you later, everyone.
See you.
Too much confetti.